Dear Masar, Santosha village members and the rest of the class, my name is Fernando Uribarri and today I am here to present, along with my classmates Alejandro, Henwood, Clara Garzarán, Mikel Martínez and Sebastián Perez, an idea that could help diminish the poverty rate in New Orleans, one of the poorest cities in the United States. There are 391,495 inhabitants in New Orleans. There is a 27% poverty rate, what gives us an amount of over 105,000 people living under the minimum conditions. This accounts for a huge amount of people and is definitely something the society should fix together. The federal poverty rating is the indicator the US government uses to determine who is eligible for federal subsidies and aid. The Department of Health and Human Services issues new poverty guidelines each January. That's when it adjusts for inflation. The poverty rate is the ratio of the number of people in a given age group whose income falls below the poverty line, taken as half the median household income of the total population. How can the society make this figure decrease? There are certainly many ways, but what about one that is actually implemented and works? This is the case of our online website oriented to NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that will help homeless people and unemployed individuals improve their current situation. This app will consist in mainly three parts. The first one consists in a tool to organize cash inflows and outflows of individuals. This tool will help volunteers teach homeless people how to save money. This could be a very good start for these people that can't even save $1 due to their lack of education. Secondly, the app would help volunteers find coupons and brochures for any kind of store, but mainly supermarkets. This would also be very interesting for supermarkets that want to fight for the cause, and instead of throwing away food, they could just give it at discount to people that really need to eat, or at least satisfy their basic needs. Last but not least, the app would also help the volunteers in the cause find a job. The way this will work is via a job board in which the volunteers will be able to find non-high qualified jobs for homeless or unemployed people. This way, volunteers could easily match each person's strengths with the job offer. Also, as in the case of supermarkets, many companies could enter the cause, creating job offers that would not require highly educated people. Also, apart from job offers, the individuals could also find community service events in order to introduce them to the labor life and help them fulfill their desire of becoming a valuable asset to society.
So, after the presentation, we will analyze three ideas that we would like to implement in our innovative app. The economic resources homeless people have are low, so choosing how to use their money available is a huge decision for them, and a question that they have to answer every single day. Firstly, we think that homeless people are not in touch with some economic terms that could be very useful for them, such as the concept of savings or making a budget. We should try to teach them those ideas, offering them suitable tables to guide them, and showing them how an economic and realistic budget should be. So we should firstly introduce them those both concepts mentioned before. On one hand, an easy way to teach them the meaning of savings might be not spending all your available money or avoiding excess or unneeded expenditure. There is an amount of money you have to expend no matter your budget, because it is used for basic needs. So, depending on the amount you have available, the individual should save a percentage for the future, as it is unknown and one day you might receive less money than expected or you will need to make a higher purchase. On the other hand, they have to learn how to make a balanced budget, which is an estimate of income and expenditure for a set period of time. So, they need to make a good prediction of the money they will get and how they should expend it. We have to teach them too how important it is to think not only in the short term but in the long run too. These two concepts are closely related, as a suitable budget cannot be pursued without a good understanding of savings. So here is an example of a table that could be useful for them, where we will analyze the relationship between disposable income, spending, savings, and a percentage saved. For instance, if you have a $5 budget, your chances of saving are small, as you need to buy indispensable items and you don't have enough money to do so. But when your disposable income gets higher, these figures will change. If you have a $10 budget, you can try to save at least a 10% for unexpected situations that might happen in the future. When your disposable income gets higher, you can try to save a higher percentage if you have a balanced economic budget, expending the money just in the needed items. But which are these items? It depends on the individual. However, food and healthy issues must go first. We need to teach them which items are dispensable, such as cigarettes or drugs. However, the statement that affirms that I don't give money to homeless people because they will spend it on drugs is too expanded, and it is not true in a high percentage of the cases. Trying to change this perception is also important. Returning to our table, we can see that the more responsible income should make homeless people have a higher percentage of savings. So, to sum up, we have to highlight how important it is to teach them that a higher disposable income should not always lead to a higher spending. You have to spend your money in first necessity things, such as food or drinks. This might be easy to say and hard to put in practice, but we have to try to give them all the available tools to help them in order to change their situation and get out of the poverty.
Secondly, related with the idea of controlling expenses, an efficient way to finish wrapping up this concept is by introducing a search engine for coupons and discounts. Discounts and coupons will not only enable Santosha citizens to continue controlling their expenses, but it will also mean that they can be able to control their savings. Although we are considering that Santosha citizens are poor and unemployed people, it's essential that they enter a thrifty buying dynamic for the future. So, how are we going to do it? Of course, we would like to integrate this tool on the app we will develop, as it will enable a great variety of updated offers for the citizens. For this, we want to imitate some aspects of another app, Saving Star. This app has the best offers for major brands, works at the most retailers, and can be accessed on a desktop computer. However, our scope will be much smaller as we are only considering Santosha citizens. To do this, we will link our app with some supermarket and drugstores loyalty cards, which offer every item for covering basic physiological needs. Then the citizen will give us a list of products which will then be assessed by the head of the village, as we want them to focus on what they need and not what they want. Afterwards, we will take out a list of available savings and finally purchase the items. So, what happens next? Once the basic needs are covered, we will incorporate other discounts on restaurants, theaters, health, fitness, and even hotels based on Groupon's webpage. Another thing to consider is clothes. In the future, once Santosha villagers are able to control their expenses, we can incorporate other discounts for clothes for daily usage and for every season. In the case of special occasions as interviews, we can incorporate rental companies' searching engine. The idea behind integrating these two is that Santosha villagers learn to save money when purchasing, look for good offers, start getting used to saving, and start purchasing their own things so that they can start appreciating the cost of earning them and don't go back to bad habits as robbery.
Education and labor should be present in the life of the homeless and unemployed individuals that live in this type of villages. Therefore, our app will directly connect these people with the services that best fit with their profile according to their past jobs and experiences. This will help them fulfill their desire of becoming a valuable asset to society. Moreover, they will gain knowledge and experience for future jobs and activities that will require a higher level of abilities and skills. Let's see now how does our app work. Our app will allow to search discreetly for positions and respond to postings quickly. The job search is as much about self-discovery as it is job discovery, and our app is a useful reminder of that fact.
The app users find companies and careers that will benefit the overall well-being of the homeless people. Through personality quizzes with questions like what are your unique strengths and how do you come across to others, we can unlock increasingly nuanced insights about themselves and offer companies and jobs that might match their personality and working style. You cannot apply to these jobs within the app, but instead are redirected back to major job boards for that part of the process. Moreover, the app is segmented into different categories: jobs, companies, salaries, and interviews, which will help the users to navigate and find the best suitable job. What else features will the app include? Our app will include several events hosted by charities and professional organizations where homeless people can go and interact with the possible companies that would like to hire them. These events will provide the list of attendees beforehand, which will help to identify at least one person who the homeless people would like to meet and talk to. They will be able to talk to at least one person at every meeting so they can improve their social skills and try to find a suitable job for themselves through our app. The success of this implementation will reside in how well we can both anticipate the needs of the consumer and access aggregated services. This is why we want to listen to the homeless people on the events that we will organize, knowing much better their thoughts and ideas and trying to reach as much people as we could. The next topic that I'm going to introduce is who will download the app. The ones that should download and use the app will be the people who organize and work at the non-governmental organizations like Santosha Village. They will identify and anticipate the needs of the individuals who most need the education or job and give them access to it. What options do they have after finding a job? Normally, they will sign a 2-year contract no matter how they are performing. This will not apply to somebody that does not take it seriously or just want the job for the money. Hard working and teamwork are the most important abilities that companies are looking for while talking about the homeless. Once they have finished their 2-year contract, if they have performed well and possess the right abilities for it, they will get a 4 years contract.
Okay, so my colleagues have mentioned some of the features this app will include and have outlined some of its key characteristics. To conclude, I will provide an overview of the services it offers, as well as how communities such as Santosha Village can benefit from them. Firstly, as mentioned by Mikel, one of the app's main focuses will be on helping organize expenses. By introducing the idea of saving, which Hyan mentioned is something they struggle with, since, understandably, they're used to spending the little money they make on basic necessities such as food and clothing, we hope to make them financially conscious. A visually attractive table that shows how much they make, spend, and save will exponentially change how they manage their budget and expenses on a daily basis at first, and on a weekly and monthly basis as they progress. Moving on, as explained by Clara, the app will include a Groupon-like platform which would include coupons and discounts at stores and supermarkets, for example, that the members of these communities can benefit from. By using Groupon's business model but focusing on our target market, this feature would strengthen our initial point of saving and creating a budget. Finally, Sebas talked about a job board that would form part of our app services. It would offer educational and community service events and opportunities that can help these people educate themselves, reintroduce them to the labor life, and help them fulfill their desire of becoming a valuable asset to society once again. This is perhaps the result of the synergies created by points number 1 and 2, and the success of such strategy would ultimately result in full-time employment, and thus in self-maintenance and independence. Because of the points mentioned by me and my colleagues, we truly believe in this idea and hope someone develops this project, as so many, especially in New Orleans, would benefit from it. Thank you for your time. We hope you liked it, and we will happily answer any questions regarding the